Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today we bring you guys loot from 5,000 chests, these being the Isle of Souls dungeon chests, half of them done by me and the other half done by my good friend. The goal for this video was to explore all the new loot and obtain as many dark keys plus medium clue scrolls as possible. These chests are relatively new to RuneScape. They were released February 3rd, 2021. And each chest does give you 150 thieving XP, although this account is already 200 mil thieving, so we were tracking these chests simply by using a notepad. And the drop rate for those dark keys, as mentioned before, is unknown, so we weren't sure how many keys we would obtain from this video, and the same goes for the medium clue scrolls. Before we get started though, we do have some words from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. So the layout for this sponsor is a little different than usual. The goal for this one is to reach 40 downloads, and by you guys checking out the description below and using that link and completing the tutorial, you will be able to see the amount of tutorials completed in the progress bar in the description. Through the past 2 years of taking these raid ads, I have been able to move states and be very comfortable with no stress, and a huge part of that is because of this opportunity. So I just want to say thank you to anyone who has checked out the game in my previous videos, and a thank you to the new up-and-coming raid members from this video. In this game, you can explore millions of champion combinations. You can master countless tactics, whether it's roaming the dungeon, battling in the PvP arena, or even building your own team. You can raid however you want. Just looking at the graphics, so up to date, so clean on both mobile and PC devices, and don't forget, raid is 100% free to play and check out. With daily and weekly rewards, you'll always have something new to claim and achieve, and some things I love about raid is the variety of the champions you can collect. So many different factions as shown on screen here, and recently Raid did release its biggest ever update, the Doom Tower, a giant tower with 120 floors and a bunch of secret challenge rooms, 12 bosses to take on. And on top of that, Raid just released even more champions. There'll be even more coming this month as well, with over 500 champions in game now to collect and customize. Trust me when I say there is a champion for everyone. So what are you waiting for? Make sure to download the game using my link and play through the tutorial, or you can even use my QR code on screen here to get all of the rewards. These rewards for new players for the next 30 days being 50,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 50 gems, 1 clan boss key, 5 mystery shards, 1 day XP booster, and the terrifying champion Hex Weaver. All this treasure will be waiting for you here, and I wish you luck. Don't forget, these rewards will only be available for the next 30 days. And a huge thank you to Raid for sponsoring today's video. So back to these chests, we wanted to do 5,000 so that all of you had a pretty good idea of the loot. In order to open these chests efficiently, we did bring along a lockpick as well as a gem bag, herb sack, and rune pouch. The construction cape helped for banking, and the spade isn't required of course, but since all these level 2 clue scrolls were completed, it did come in handy. The herb sack will be used when you receive any of the 3 different types of herbs that are offered from this chest, one of them being very low level, that being a grimy guam, and the other 2 being a grimy lantadime and a grimy renar. With the lantadime being 1.4k and the renar being 6.5k, those rewards are not too bad. With the rune pouch, that is useful because there's 3 different rune drops. Similar to the herbs, there's 1 cheap rune and 2 expensive other ones. You have mind, death, and nature runes. And while you can receive up to 10 mind runes, you can only receive 1 to 2 nature and 1 to 2 death runes per search. And last but not least, you have the gem bag, which is nice too because you have the sapphire, emerald, ruby, and diamond drops. So all those items mentioned can be stored away easily, providing you more space per inventory, and this is just going to increase your chests per hour that you do steal from. And at our peak hours, we were doing just around 300 every single hour, and that is with 99 thieving. As it goes for the gear, just a set of full graceful will do because there's a lot of running involved in this activity due to the fact that you do occasionally get teleported and you have to run all your way back to the chest, and this probably could have been completed faster, but since we did every single medium clue that we received, it did take some extra time. If you're curious of the drop rate for that medium clue from these chests, it's still unknown according to the Old School RuneScape wiki, but in 5,000 chests we did get roughly 44 medium clues, so hopefully that helps. Definitely looking forward to opening all 44 caskets at the end, as well as all the dark keys that we received from this. The drop rate for that key is unknown as well, but it did take us about 390 183 before we received our first one, and our second one was just about 585 overall. And it is important to note that not all the drops from these 5,000 chests were picked up. There was a few junk items along the way, such as the bird snare, the box trap, as well as the chocolate bar. All of those are not going to sell for even 1 GP, so they were left on the ground, which is where they belong. Everything else, though, of course, was banked and kept track of. Some interesting drops that you can receive would definitely be the adamant scimitar, as well as the mithril pickaxe and the mithril axe. Very low tier, obviously, and the Renar herb is the most expensive thing that you can get from this chest, which I guess is disappointing, but at least we have medium clues and dark keys to receive. I think that somewhat makes up for the lack of value from these chests. And it is important to mention that you only need 28 thieving, that's the only requirement to steal from these, and you do get 150 thieving XP per steal. I'm not sure the hourly rate of XP that players can receive here. I'm sure it's dependent on level and success rate, but I wouldn't think it's a crazy amount. Occasionally, and especially depending on your thieving level, you will fail to loot the chest, and there's a chance you get teleported to the northeast side of the dungeon entrance. However, if you carry a lockpick, this will increase your rate at which you successfully can pick the chest. Luckily for me and you, no quest is required to get here, but I will say the banking is not fun. It does take a while to get back to this location, and to my knowledge, there is no direct teleport here or anywhere near this area other than, of course, the Soul Wars Bank. This area was actually created December 9th of 2020, but it was connected to the Soul Wars beta instead of the real game, and it remained unnamed and inaccessible. That is until February 3rd, 2021. I'm not too sure what the old school team was going for when they made it such a long, distant location to run to, I guess compared to most things, which is, I feel like everything's close to a bank these days, but nevertheless, it does make it stand out, and it makes it a little more interesting, so I guess I'm not going to complain too much about that. The Isle of Souls dungeon itself is a pretty small dungeon compared to others in RuneScape, and it's at the all the way northeastern tip part of the Isle of Souls. There's a couple different monsters that can be found here in their basic Slayer tasks, and it does mention in the wiki that you can use a dwarf cannon here, so that's nice. Other than the skeletons that wander throughout this dungeon, there's really not much to be worried about if you're a lower level, but you should bring some food if you have low HP, because there are lesser demons and greater demons, fire giants, things like that you can run into, as well as iron dragons and blue dragons, so anti-fire shield is recommended for that as well. There's even a blue dragon scale spawn and addy and rune rocks, but they aren't that useful because it's just so far from everything. I think the only thing useful in this dungeon, to be honest, is this chest, and I'm really not too sure what made Jagex introduce a new chest into Old School and that new dark key into Old School as well, but I'm not complaining. New content is always interesting to explore for one reason or another, and it could be beneficial. You never know till you try it. And after trying this new chest 5,000 times, I think it's safe to say that we will know if this is worth checking out or not. But first things first, let's go ahead and use the 21 dark keys that we received from these 5,000 chests. And now we're going to make our long journey to the crumbling tower and open up all these 21 dark keys, see what we can expect from those chests compared to the other ones. The amount of times that I've said chest in this video is ridiculous, but what can you do? I did fast forward this clip on screen here, but you can kind of just tell how long this run is, even if it is fast forwarded. That's why a stamina sip and graceful is always recommended if you're in this area doing anything and everything. And something cool about these dark chests is that not only once you open them up do you get a decent item reward, but you also get 1500 thieving XP too. You might want to bring some food though if you have a lot of dark keys stocked up, due to the chest damaging you up to 10 HP per opening, as you will see on screen shortly. On screen here, the loot that you can receive from this dark chest is much more significant and useful compared to the ones that we did for this video, but hey, you can't get to one without the other, so I imagine the dark chest will be a future video in the making. It might be a little long term unless they change the way of obtaining dark keys, but it does look like the rarest item from the dark chest is a shield left half, and the most expensive being 14 noted snapdragon herbs at a current price of 126k. From the keys that we did, we saw some interesting drops, a little bit of runes and some bones and some leather, but overall nothing too crazy, certainly not worth the hours invested. But we will go ahead and throw that on top of the price check, seeing as that it's the exact same thing. We did receive all this loot technically from this video anyway, so the price check overall will be from 5,000 soul chests as well as the dark chests. Looking at the inventory, you have over 28,000 feathers, which I didn't mention before, over 100 diamonds, 100 adamant scimitars, and much more, 140k cash, but the overall price check does come out to be 3.98 million. 1.5 mil of that just coming from the Renars, so we will round that up to just about 4 mil. And now we will go sell everything and see overall how much we get from the Grand Exchange, which it seems like it's pretty much the exact same amount, still about 40k shy. And last but not least, it is time to open up the 44 medium clue scrolls, maybe see a pair of ranger boots or something good from that. Looking on YouTube earlier today, I only noticed that there's one dark chest video, that being loot from 10, done by a guy named Zune. It's not surprising that there's no other videos to my knowledge existing of these chests because it's brand new content in the game, less than 2 weeks old, and honestly, judging by the outcome of this video loot-wise, I don't think this is considered to be the most rewarding thing. So I can't see a lot of people going out of their way to explore this. Just seems so far away and a little underwhelming, honestly. And I know that sounds disappointing, but I try not to mislead you all with the loot here. A good thing about this loot series is that you guys can explore different monsters and things around this game, whether it's an NPC or an activity as well, and you can kind of determine, judging by my experience or our experiences, if it's worth it for you to try out, whether you're an Iron Man account or if you're just looking to make some money. Overall, from the clue scrolls though, we only got one good reward, and that was spiked manacles, which was about a 500k reward. Other than that, there was a few 100ks and one 200k, but no ranger boots or wizard boots from this one. But it's not too bad. I think we did end up with just shy of 2 mil loot from the clue scrolls, which means we made a total of 5.9 million from 5,000 of these chests. Well, that is it for now, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video and the new content. Stay tuned for more, and feel free to check out the description if you want to check out that sponsor. If not, I totally understand, but does support the channel. And until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.